Hi everyone, this is Joanna from Universal Love Light and Heavenly Radiance Tarot. We're going to do a short Ascension and some tarot today. Wanted to mix it up, have a bit of fun. How's everybody doing? We've been talking about the dynamic and explorative topic about attachment and how attachment is sewn within all of our human programming in some form or fashion. And it allows us to perceive ourselves from a higher perspective when we acknowledge it and we're aware of what serves and what no longer serves, and how we can always return to the center of who we are as the divine soul, harmonized essence of our self as a spirit, having a human experience. It just allows us to step above, out of the enmeshment, if you will, because that's what attachments and fear and limitation and control allow us to experience, are all of those densities that keep us tied in bondage, various forms and frequencies and experiences of subjugation. And so attachments is just one form that exists on all subtle levels, because it's a form of subjugation through the beliefs and the patternings that we hold about who we are, what we exist within, what exists within us. And so what we wanted to talk about today is the understanding of who you are as the miracle of Source, knowing that your sense of knowingness, the desire that you move forward with in every new moment, on how you feel within yourself, being that guiding compass to either realign, let go, and heal, and to also project into a new trajectory of experience. Those feelings and those emotions allow that part of that creativity of who you are to begin creating those higher vibrational templates into what it is you really want to experience. Those emotional energies and those excitements and the catalyzing creativity of who you are as Source in that co-creative experience of being Source. Not for any other reason to manifest a certain thing, that's part of the ride and the journey, but to use the fluidic movement of who you are becoming as that vibrational journey, in the joy of being you, in the rediscovery of being you, in the embodiment of being you as a soul. And for that only joy, you become that child of the sacredness of all that is. The exploratory child, as we are that micro macro Source creator, just the joy to explore and express who we are, to continually evolve and press out. So it's so exciting, and how I've been able to look at things from a different way, in a different manner, through the idea of just looking and perceiving at things is the soul essence of all that I am, and how many attachments I've held based on lineage and Akashic role definitions, ideologies, societal definitions, and each and every one of us, as we see what that's happening in our collective, allow us to create new perspectives of our belief systems, the roles and the definitions we've held, and how they are linked with many attachments. So allow yourself to just gently soften and ponder when you do feel those experiences coming up. And you can feel them at a very subtle level, and begin that inquisitive, exploration, what part of me is holding on to what and why is it needed? Is it really needed? And how can I let go of that and really live as this fluidic movement of love, which is Source. We're all becoming love. So it's so great. So we wanted to come up with, it's really, really big. This summertime is so big for new beginnings and new vibrational paradigms of co-creation. So just know that allowing us to step forward in new ways and really experience ourselves as a miracle. When we think about why it's always been called the miracle of birth, how our body moves into this beautiful evolution and transmutation in every new phase, we are the ones that are the masters and the drivers and the catalysts of that. It's our desire to be our fullest essence of Source creator, our fullest essence of love, and really have that be the catalyst of just exploring yourself as love and just allowing that exploration and rediscovery of who you are. And when I say that, allowing that essence of that grounding as neutrality, you can still have that exploration and that guidance be driving to explore love, because love is that exploration. It's always open and never ending, and always holding that neutral understanding when you open up to all of your bodies, you can have this infinite number of perspectives going on at the same time and always anchoring in neutrality. So that you're holding that neutral presence and not repelling or magnetizing any one experience because of attachments, patterns, or beliefs. So that's what I mean by that. And it does get very subtle, and why I often say the things that I do, and why oftentimes people may not understand it the first time they listen to it. Because it really is a subtle language of our multidimensionality. And it's quite profound and massive and huge. Oftentimes when I'm explaining things, it's because I'm explaining it in the moment that I'm feeling it as a multidimensional experience. And we sometimes don't have words for this multidimensional transition that we're moving in. So the first deck that I'm pulling forward, we're going to get a message for the collective today. Spirits and guides and the divine creators, the higher selves and the teams listening now, future now moments for those to come in for a creative message for our week. Our week of co-creation as spirit. Our co-creation is the miracles, and that we open our hearts and we open our minds to explore, seek, and be the rediscovery of the miracle in every new moment. There is no moment that is not within a miracle and new creations for who we are as of ever unfolding beings. There's beautiful, magical, synchronistic things in every moment. Every moment, there's a new story. You know, the story within the story within the story, and that's the micro macro perspective, allowing us to see the open abundance of forgiveness and compassion in all moments for all people and all movements. And so this one just came out, just flipped out. I love that one. I'm going to tell a story with this one too. Oh my gosh. As we just said that, hey, look at these cards. Look at those cards. So we're going to pull two from there. I'm also going to pull in, I'll show you the decks in a second. Is that the right deck? Yeah, nope, that's not the right. Look at my foxes. Oh. I need to go. I need to have a nap. Got two cards. There we go. And really stepping into, I've been feeling this most amazing new shifts from all of these adjustments and all of the beautiful work that my teams are doing with me, and you know, the beautiful. I have so much reverence and gratitude for my teams and the humility that goes into this journey. You know, surrendering ego at every moment, surrendering old paradigms, surrendering old pain, surrendering old wounds, to be completely rebirthed in every new moment in this magnificent journey of rediscovery and understanding of love, a deeper understanding of love. So I'm going to pull two from each. This one came out so fast, it flipped upside down. I get it. Totally right there with you. And, oh yeah, I wanted to pull one of these too. So we're going to do three different decks. Three different decks. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? You're noticing the big shifts from our new moon. I always, my kids always feel the new moon energies as well, and they're going through their emotional releases as well. So be sure to include them on, you know, activities outside, getting down to earth, and just having discussions about their emotional feelings and how they're feeling and how they're moving through their experiences, just to allow them the opportunities to purge and cleanse any densities and emotions that they've been going through as well, and for them to understand how to do it for themselves. Empower and inspire them to come forward with their own belief systems of who they are, what they exist within, what exists within them, so that we're allowing the fullness of who they are to come forward in new ways and be their own trajectory of light and miracles. Oh, those two just came pouring out. They wanted to come out. Excuse me a moment. Okay. Wow, these are beautiful cards. Such an itchy nose today. And I want to pull one more of these. I'll pull one of these. I'll show you the decks in a sec. I'll do these ones a little tiny. This is a really small deck. tiny deck, tiny, tiny. I want to thank you, Spirit. I want to thank you to all Spirit, the Holy Lord Michael, and the many masters and the angels that are always with me and my guides, and the various councils and the beings from Gaia that are always surprising me with beautiful nature. Thank you, the divine creators and spirit. So blessed and grateful for all that I am blessed with, and I appreciate you always in every breath and every word. Thank you. We're going to pull one from this deck. Okay, let's go. Let's do this, friends. Let's see what we got. The decks we're using today. Beautiful fairy deck, oracles, and sacred destiny. Yay! There's two cards that fell. Oh yeah, we're also wanting to see our whispers of love. So those two we did first. So let's do those ones first. The two that came out are these two. Go figure, right? We're talking about being the miracle. The one that came out was miracles and blessings. Miracles and blessings are the infinite number of ways that we are open, surrendering to source. That's it, because everything that we surrender and allow ourselves to open within is what we are blessed with. It's always around and within us. It's nothing that happens just once in a chance type of thing. Miracles are every moment that we're swimming within source. The more we open up to our vastness, the more we open up to all that we are as source, the greater the number of miracles. If we count those things by numbers, but I don't. I'm just saying that the more open you are, the more that every moment will be the miracle that it is for what it is, because it's source, it's love. And that's what our entire human collective is now awakening to, is the essence of who we are as love, the remembrance, the rediscovery, the reconnection at a deep level. When you connect at the level of understanding your soul then reaches out to others at that soul level for deeper, richer connections that will allow your soul its growth for no other reason. It's not at the soul level. It's not for the reasons of in the older cycles of the 3D and the 4D, the soul level. Not that you can't have a soulmate at 3 and 4D, because you can. But what I'm saying is that those experiences that are learned at the 3 and 4D level are vast and different than the soulmate experience. There's different levels of growth that the soul moves through and requires and calls in those relationships and those soul love that allow us to experience infinite blessings in the way that love can be expressed and experienced and explored. Because those souls have had those depths of experiences and clearings and healings, so that they're vulnerable enough and excited enough to understand that that's the soul's experience and that's all that they require and desire. There's still our free will to choose that, to entangle with those energies. But this is what our world is moving through right now, is understanding that depths of soul love, whether it's a relationship or whether it's finding your soul tribe, those depths and richnesses of soul love means they're becoming more to us. Our values are changing and shifting. We want more than we did at that 3D level, when it used to be, very materialistic and egoic driven. And it no longer serves the soul. It no longer serves the desires that the soul wants and aches for, because it desires that intimacy. It desires that depth of connection and richness that is experienced when you've allowed yourself to let go and allowed yourself to be vulnerable enough to know what's really, really important, what is driving the souls to its next evolutionary, experience. What is your real value? And why we can look at our world in a different way when we do, because we understand that we're all one. It's the depth of oneness, and so this one came out, the why I was saying this one is the focus on love. And not too long ago, I had an incredible experience. And I often had this, that there's been an experience that I think I've only mentioned it once on my radio shows, but perhaps I'll write about it later. That was just an incredible experience that is beyond words. And it's bringing me back to this most recent experience about the dragons, the crystalline dragons. The crystalline dragons are an advanced collective from an off-world planet. And they were showing me their world and how they create and how they explore through excitement. And this one crystalline dragon came up to me, and it was a divine mother. dragon, and she was pure crystalline white and very transparent. She was just magical, just flying in the air just above me. And she was saying, she was telling me that I was a magical creature. And as she told me this, she would take me into this planet of, and then showing me how the dragons co-created. Because I said, well, how do you create? Like, wow, look at this place, you know? And she said, well, you're a magical creature too. Remember, I'm activating you. Remember who you are. And we have these amazing experiences like that that remind us of our omnipresence, that what we see in our physical reality sometimes, if we're not dropping to our heart and living from this heart space, it seems to be all consuming, and it's all that we know and all that we see. And then there's the masters that have come forward many, many lifetimes to say that we are creating heaven upon earth because we are it. So allow yourself to transcend what you thought you knew about who you were and what you exist within and what exists within you, so that you can live this really magical life through which the focus of your love creates all worlds, all things. And so taking yourself beyond what was in every way, whether it's a wound that you're trying to heal, whether it's, a new job you're trying to manifest, or a vocation, or your soul's purpose. Allow it to be from within your center, and that new devotion of seeking that love within you. I know that there's a vocation that is just my calling. I can feel it within my soul. I feel something changing and shifting and transforming and transmuting. This is my calling. I know I'm magical. And that's when the miracles and the blessings are all about you. Everybody that crosses your path is like, wow, that was so awesome. Or you're looking, even someone that just passes you and you notice they're wearing something on a necklace. Those are the magical moments through which you're co-creating with creation, and they're co-creating that with you. And it's just amazing. It's the power of love. Look for the good in everyone, and everything has its gift. Everything is a miracle and a blessing. And so thank you, the Crystalline Dragons, for allowing me to share that story. Thank you. The next ones that came flying out were these two. This is funny. This is how I've been moving lately. The seahorse, and there's so many synchronicities that as I'm awakening, creating this new higher vibrational template for myself that we talked about in our video today, so we'll get that posted. The sea otter is about transformation, and the hare is about cycles. I think that's about cycles. But this one came flying upside down. And I've had some references about everything being topsy-turvy and upside down, because I want it to be. My soul wants me to switch everything and change it up so that I'm seeing things from a varied perspective, and knowing that I'm the one that's creating every experience, and I can have it be anything that I want. And when you have those miracles occur, it allows you to remember in the beauty, the blessing, and the faith that Source is to create those miracles for you right before your very eyes. But sometimes, and oftentimes, it takes that shaking up to say, you haven't been seeing it, and we've been putting it right before your eyes, and now we're going to turn everything upside down. So how can you tune in to even the most subtle things? Because at every higher level, it gets more and more subtle and more magnificent and more vast and, and crazy, as far as what you can offer yourself and how you can call it in. But it's when we get to those understandings of, okay, well, I've seen so many things today, but it's even more and more subtle. And then they start turning things really upside down, so you can look deeper within the story, because there's always, again, a story within a story within a story. What is really transforming? Everything is transforming. We're creating new experiences of bringing heaven to earth, which is what that upside down is. I create heaven upon earth. And to the original, to our 3D experience, say, well, that's wrong. It's right. It's turned upside down. Turn it back up. But those are our attachments to want to see things the way we've always seen them. But what if things are seen this way now? How can this be the miracle that it is, and what stories can you tell within it that's waiting to be told? And so what another story that's coming to me this, as it showed upside down, is that the water will come raining down upon you to wash and clear and cleanse away, through which you will see the miracles as if there's fish that are flying, not necessarily within the water, because you're allowing yourself to be cleansed of what was, the programs and the patterns and the veils that kept you locked into a certain perspective that no longer serve. And that's what we were talking about, attachments, is having that water to completely cleanse and clear you, so that you're not carrying any of those dense patterns and egoic beliefs into the new realm of who you are as a template of light. Which then brings me to this, is the cycles. the cycles through this experience. I mean, she's so at peace, right? I mean, look at her hair. I mean, it's taken her 100 lifetimes to grow this hair. You know, and she's got teams of people that just wash and care for her. This is, I need some, I need some personal care. Have someone come and do my hair every day. That would be nice. It's coming. It's in my other reality. I already see it. It's already there. See, she's just chilling. She's just doing her meditation. Right there's a hair. You know, start a new cycle. And all of these little, see all these beautiful little creatures here, and they're looking up to her, and she's got these crystalline little stardust all around her. She is the walking co-creation and meditation that is source beaming down all of these energies, saying you are creating a reality as you go. And there's so many beings that are with you on your journey that are just aching to be a part of your co-creative experience, and they want to share it with you, and they want to be a part of it with you. You're co-creating together. So hold yourself high. Remarry yourself and redevote yourself and commit yourself to who you are as source, because this is the center of the being where we devote ourselves to spirit. This devotion of spirit always allows us to evolve and move forward, expand out and up. So that's awesome. So that's what the process of transformation allows us to do. I'm gonna find my boxes. And the destiny cards that came out today that flew onto the floor was the standstill and the purity. And so what this is saying to me is that when we give ourselves enough time just to stand there, like that card that was flipped upside down, we just live every moment knowing that we're so linear, right? We've got to get up, we have lunch, we go to bed. You know, it just seems so programmed, and oftentimes, you know, you're caught in those cycles of am I really engaged in what I'm doing? But you need to be able to stand still and see that there's things moving on around you that are the unseen, that are the unknown, that you're now ready to tap into. So allow your everyday life to also be a part of that magic, and release the conditioning and the patterns that you've had about what you thought it could be, because you can bring the miraculous into your everyday thing. And that was a big lesson for me last year, the year before, was there's source in everything. How can you see everything that you're doing, which is a part of your journey? You need to build those foundations and those roots, but how can you see it as a miracle and be it as a miracle and live it? And that is your purity of essence. Because when you're pure in alignment with your soul and with source, everything is a miracle, whether you're standing still or whether you're going down a roller coaster. You know, it's all about how you're perceiving that fullness of who you are within and without. But we do have to be able to stand still sometimes to see this miraculous world moving around us that opens our eyes and awakens us and remembers us in a new way that we remember it. So many levels and layers. So amazing. Thank you. And the cards that fell out, did I only take one card from here? I suppose I did. The one card that came out was the lilies, flowers and the lilies. So what's coming out to me right now is that, so what's coming out to me is this girl is kind of looking through the window, and she sees that there's some flowers that are left for her. And she sees also that the story that's coming to me is these little highlights here, and these, I don't know what they're called, spotlights, I suppose. Spotlights are down on these flowers that are being highlighted for her. She's looking through the window. Is that for me? You know, she's like, is that for me? What are those there for? They're being highlighted. They're there for something. But the universe is showing her, well, this is you. It's time for you to step into your own spotlight. It's time for you to let go of the box that you thought you were held within. What had defined you before is now ready to pop you into something new. You're ready to stand within your own light now. That's what you've been doing all this time, is you've been planting the seeds. You've been allowing yourself to bloom. You've been nurturing the field that you are. You've been nurturing the energy and the essence that you are to only need and require you as spirit, as we said earlier in our videos today. And this box that you've placed yourself around, if you're ready to step out of it in every way, whether it's how you see yourself, the way you style, how you feel, those that you call in, the new careers and the new vocations that many are going to be stepping upon, so that their new gifts can be activated, and then build themselves anew in new ways, so that they're not defining themselves at all and they're just being this fluid movement. And what's coming up to me is that, don't worry, you'll always be on solid ground. We've got you, we've got your back. And that's the spirit guides and all spirit that's around her and surrounding her, that's saying it's time for you to step forward. Time for you to be that shining starlight that you've been practicing and that you've been preparing for so many lifetimes. And what always surprises me is this looks like the upside down. They're just showing me the inversion of this, being that it doesn't matter what we perceived in the old version of us. It's always right side up, and it's always in the way that it should be at that moment for us to explore it in a new way, which is also the number 6 and the number 9. So there's a lot going on there with how willing are we, how willing and allowing are we to see things always as right, always as perfect, the miracle within everything, regardless of how topsy-turvy it feels. Because we're the ones that need that topsy-turvy to truly awaken the heart and say, okay, I've released all the attachments, but there's more. Yeah, there's so much more beyond what you can imagine. So are you really ready to reach? Are you really ready to flip upside down and just go for it? That's such a fun way to look at creation. So thank you, dear lighted ones. We hope that you've enjoyed this and understand that you're a miracle. As that first card that popped out for the angels, the whispers of love, angel deck. You are a miracle, and you are the one that allows yourself to see every moment as the miracle unfolding that Source is, but you are in the beauty of all that you are, living as Source essence from the purity of your heart. And know that the reality is always benevolently serving you and inspiring you and empowering you. The universe is aching for you to show your beauty so that it can return it to you. It's your benevolent co-creatorhood. And we love you so much. Take care and practice being your miracle. Open and allow and acknowledge yourself as the miracle. Open and allow yourself to be something new every moment that you choose to be. And then when you share yourself that authentically, regardless of how out of the norm it might seem to others, they're still in their process of seeing themselves in a new awakening. So be okay with that. Just allow yourself to explore outside the box, be upside down, topsy-turvy for a while, and just know it's always perfect. You're always with Source. You're always held in this beautiful blanket of love with Source, because you are. Source is always within you, holding you in pure and divine love. Miracles and blessings, dear ones.